Hello, this is what came through for January 23rd, 2026. I'm going to try my best to explain this in the most simple way that I can uh, because what I saw and felt was really powerful in a really great way, though. Uh, I was shown and felt like there was going to be something with like a power surge. I know that there's been a lot of the talks of, the power grid and them, the powers that were like doing a, big shutdown of power and things being out for a while. This felt like separate from that in a way, but more of a surge. That's why I'm calling it a surge instead, because it feels like it's going to be quick. Uh, but what this was not anything scary or anything. I literally heard a noise like when you hear like a power kind of like doing a reset or a shutdown. I'm gonna try like that noise of like the zoom and like going from like higher to lower. So I heard that, and then I literally saw and felt the wave coming, and I felt it hit me, and it like kind of sent me back, but I felt it just kind of like come over my whole body, and I felt this surge and this wave. And the best way I can describe it is it felt like almost like an upgrade, like a spiritual upgrade, but the most intense one that I felt, because we feel these things, right? These aches and these pains, and the Schumann is off and it's doing weird stuff, so we feel those things. But this is going to be like a surge of just really beautifully overwhelming like feeling and energy, because I felt this sense of calm and peace after it. And like that I just went through like an insane spiritual experience in like the snap of a finger. And this felt very soon. But when I say soon, I feel like this is going to align a lot with what a lot of other channelers are starting to receive in messages. And this feels very much like in the next like 6 months or less of this happening. And this is going to be separate from if there is an attempt at like power grid things, because that is the powers that were trying to do something fearful. So this is very different. So I want us to think about that and be prepared. I wasn't even physically getting prepared for this thing, and it's almost like I was just kind of mentally and spiritually preparing myself, with I was excited and ready for it to happen. And we just kind of sit there, right? This isn't go do this and go do that and get ready and let's all get together. Like it, no, that's not like I'm just saying that I'm hearing the messages and understanding and interpreting them, and just preparing myself for if and when that feeling will happen, because it will be a really great affirmation and confirmation. I know this video is a little bit longer, but it's because there's a lot with it, because there's a second part to this which is really interesting, which is that I then saw this tall, thin, which is interesting that I'm describing that. After I wrote it, I was like, that's funny that I'm describing this person that way. Like tall, thin man. Never have I seen him like before on anything. I don't watch the news and all that, obviously, but I've just never seen him before. But he felt familiar, which was an interesting feeling to feel. But it really felt like it was a hybrid, um, you know, human extraterrestrial type, and but they were public. They were making themselves public, so it feels like there's going to be also this tie to the first time where that the public is going to come like face to face with like a hybrid type, and they obviously are going to look very much like us, but they're going to kind of be more in the public and make themselves more um, like prevalent in the public eye, and make some announcements and things, and try to bring some like more collective awareness around the truth and who they are and what they're about. And they were dressed up in a suit and all of that, and very like professional, and I just felt this really interesting sense to like protect them, and I felt protected at the same time as this was all kind of happening, and this felt very much in tandem or shortly after or around the same time of this like surge that's happening. So I know that was a lot um, to kind of unpack, but I feel like now that I'm back home, like I feel immediately like I'm back into a rhythm. It felt a little strange being out of town and at these, I work for a corporation, right? So like being in that world is so odd to me now because I feel just so misaligned with a lot of what is important, what is being focused on with them and all that. I'm just like, there's so many other things that I'm focused on in my mind of like bigger picture, right? And you know all of us coming together and these messages and what's happening and everything, that I think I felt a little bit of a disconnect, um, because I was around so much of that type of energy, right? So being back here in a safe space, in this calm space, in this space of whatever you want to call it, I just feel very much more grounded again being back home. So feels good to be back. I know this was a longer message, but it feels like a really important one. So let me know if you guys are receiving things similar to this, other channels. Let me know what you're getting as well. This feels like a really big collective message that I think is going to align with a lot of you.